Hi, and welcome to Antiques Masterclass. Today, I've got the fabulous Lennox Cato who's going to be talking about investments in the antiques world. Lennox, thanks a lot for coming in today. And so do tell more. Are antiques investable?
Well, this is rather controversial, but I believe they are. Now, for the simple reason is when people are buying antiques, a lot of people go wrong. They look in the magazine, oh, I want one of those. They've done no research whatsoever. And so when you're buying, you've got to look out for what you want to invest your money in. And the more work you put into it, actually you become the specialist. So research is imperative. It's so important. Go to various shops, museums, talk to people, because again, if you haven't never bought antiques before, it's a huge learning curve, because it's whether you're going to buy a thimble or a major work of art. But if you go to these places and see them, then you can train your eye of knowing what to look for.
And the market as well, because the markets go up and down. I mean, look at brown furniture, for instance. I mean, Victorian furniture has dropped heavily in the last 10 years.
Well, that's another issue, really, because that's led by fashion. And one of the things you should never do is buy things which is in fashion.
As an investment, yeah.
Absolutely. Because if you buy something which is in fashion, it will be out of fashion. So don't buy what's in fashion. You buy because you like it. It's
a repeating theme we have with many of our experts. Buy something that you love.
Buy what you like.
But do the research. If you are going to buy it, then do the research.
Absolutely. And does it suit your lifestyle? Because if you live somewhere really, really hot and you buy veneered furniture, the veneers are going to lift. So you don't buy veneered furniture.
Yeah.
Or you don't buy delicate little pieces of furniture if you've got lots of dogs around the house, because the dogs will knock the pieces of delicate furniture over.
Okay. Common sense stuff as well.
It is common sense, but you'll be surprised what people do, and they think, "Oh, I didn't think of that." It's crazy. Build a relationship up with either the dealer who you like and who you may be buying things from, or an auction house. It's communication is a great spirit, because again it's a learning curve all the time, because the auctioneer or the dealer will then say, actually I know what I think would suit you for your apartment or for your house or for your walls, etc. So communication is imperative, and always buy the best you can.
Quality sells itself. I do know that in my game, in the auction game. Good quality pieces will always make good money.
Yeah, it's got to be a quality product. And one of the things I always say, why buy something broken when you can buy something perfect? Mm-hmm. So don't buy broken pieces. Don't buy damaged pieces.
Yeah, because it won't go up in value.
No, if it's broken, it's always will be broken.
Yeah.
Or it's broken, it's been repaired. Be particular. Be particular. And when you do buy something, because it's for an investment, trade up. So if you've got a vase which is that big, and you see one better than yours, and in mint condition, and nothing wrong with it, and it's a bit bigger and finer, and invariably it'd be more expensive, trade up. Now, we've all done it. Mm-hmm. We've done it with our cars, and we're doing it with our properties. Mm-hmm. If you look at the first car you were driving years ago, and look at the car you're driving now, we've traded up. And we've done this, with our properties.
I don't know, I had a 3-wheel Messerschmitt, actually, so very rare now, but they were fun at the time. I could drive it on my provisional, but anyway.
Now, what I've bought, I've got an image here of these little pair of vases.
Stunning.
Now, the image is great, but I want to show them in reality. So I've brought them along. Here they are.
Absolutely amazing.
See, the thing is, photos can be quite misleading. And our business, the antique business and art business, it is a tactile business, and you've got to pick these things up. And touch them, caress them.
And fall in love with them.
And you do fall in love with them. You do fall in love with them. These are agate, 19th century, and little urns, and the lids come off. And what's so clever?
Exquisite workmanship.
The main body, it's like a little egg, and it's the inside's carving is one's going to the right and the other one's going to the left. The gold is ormolu, which has been gilded, but it's the detail. And when you're buying good things, it's all in the detail. When you listen to other specialists, they will tell you time and time again, detail, detail, detail. And when you examine these, I mean, you could almost smell those flowers. They are absolutely beautiful.
That's just so fine, and the casting is just absolutely beautiful.
And these are actually signed. I dismantled one of them, and underneath there's this signature, or initials, I should say.
Did you find out who the maker was?
I can't find who the maker is. If I could, it would make a big difference to the value.
Would these be royal pieces, would you say, or just high society pieces?
Well, the initials are leading to be royal. But if you can prove beyond all reasonable doubt that they are royal pieces, then they're worth £150,000, £200,000.
Wow.
But just as a little pair of decorative pieces...
more than decorative in my eyes.
Quite. They're worth about £30,000.
Whoa.
But whatever way you look at them, they are beautiful. Okay, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but for me, these just sing to me.
And myself. But to find something like this, it's impossible to find. I mean, these are one-off bespoke pieces for a house. Yeah,
they're one-off, but they are around. So if you've got a budget and you just want to buy, say, beautiful objects, be particular. Now, I'm a dealer, so I see and get offered a lot of things. The strength is actually saying no, waiting for the one which comes into the shop, and it really rings the bell. And that's where the strength lies, is saying no, 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 and then when something fabulous comes in, you've got the money to be able to buy it there and then.
I mean, it's just like for these two pieces here. If they came in, you must have just jumped up and down to get them. But if someone was going to invest in something like this and bought these pieces, say they bought them for £30,000, and then they paid somebody to do 6 months worth of research to try and find out who the artist is, that's a great investment potential. But if someone were to buy this, where would the value be? Would they keep them for like 10, 15 years, and then if they sold them again because they're going to be rarer, harder to get, there's less about, therefore the price will go up that way?
Okay.
Or
so
potentially.
Potentially. When you buy a property, how long do you invest in a property for?
Most people buy a property to live in, so it's
absolutely.
You know.
But they sell it. When they sell it, that's what the backbones of investment is. You look at the long term, and where people are, in my opinion, are going wrong. If they're buying antiques for an investment, you have to look at the long term, because they're buying these from myself or even at an auction house, which are the same situation as me as a retailer. They have to, if they're spending big money, they have to look at the long term. So in at least 20 years.
Okay.
So out of that, you will have the pleasure of actually having something beautiful around you, and you're seeing something appreciate.
That's a very good point. Very good point. Absolutely stunning. I mean, the pictures, they have a sort of rouge sort of burgundy look about them on the picture. Is that?
It's the lighting. It's
Amazing.
Because when they were in the studio and we put all the lights on them, you thought, hang on, are they the same pieces? But when you look here, you can see the striations of the agate.
Of course.
And I can see it here as it's being picked up. But yeah, there they look red, and here they look grey. You wouldn't think they're the same pieces, but they are.
Well, obviously. But thank you so much for bringing them in. They're absolutely stunning. They're going in the Lennox the Cato household, I presume, not for sale for a little while, but I guess everything's for sale. You're very good
Everything
like that.
has a price.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you so much for bringing them in. They're brilliant.
So, what is an investment? An item to be an investment will have to be sold. Now to shop. An investment. So what is an investment? An item is something which has to be sold, because if you don't sell it, you don't know whether your investment's been good or bad. So if you're buying for investment, you're going to sell it.
And that's hard for people as well, because if they buy it for an investment idea to get them, but once you fall in love with these things, they become so much more personal, and
Well, then you become a collector.
then you become a collector. Okay.
But you're not. This is about investment at the moment. As I say, when you take a mortgage out, you look at the long term. When you buy an ISA, you look at the long term. Okay, London's in a bubble, so the mortgage properties have been going crazy.
Yeah.
Most people who've had ISAs, they've lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
They've lost a lot of money. The stock market, yes, you can make money on there. It's volatile, very volatile. And as I said, the term is, if you're going to invest, I would say a minimum of 15 years, perhaps 25 years.
Very sensible advice.
And so when people are buying things, they don't consider a term. They think, oh, we sell it next year. You don't buy a property on the Monday and try and sell it on the Wednesday, unless you're a property dealer or developer. But if you want something for investment, it's the waiting game.
But a lot of people do buy for investment as well, that they buy something and then they want to enhance it. So you buy a property, you do it up with a view to sell it. With these pieces, obviously, they're perfect. These are actually perfect. But if you bought them in an auction, let's just say, and the gilding was down, you can enhance them by...
Yes, yeah, you bring them up to the level where they should be. And that's what I do, that's what dealers of my position do. We deal in beautiful things. And but you have to look at the long term to get there, and you buy the best you can. And it's just repeating yourself. You do your research, and I go to a lot of museums and shops, and you just talk to people, engage, and those shops or museums and dealers, they'll tell you about things, and you absorb that. They'll tell you, so
build up your knowledge.
don't buy one of those because they don't sell now, or for whatever reason.
So we've got a beautiful piece.
Well, actually, what we're going to do, there's a table which I want to show you before I show you these tables.
Okay.
And so can we just bring that on set now?
No problem at all.
Okay. Now, being a masterclass, one has to bring a piece of furniture, as I am a furniture dealer, of showing you what furniture I like and inspires me. Now, this piece, it's singing and dancing. It's what it is. It's serpentine fronted, and it's made out of mahogany. We have a little brush and slide, and we pull the brush and slide out. It has the original Moroccan leather, which is green, and beautifully tooled. We'll just slide that back. Lovely little enamel handles. On the drawer below, there's this marquetry work. Marquetry work is inlaid work with flowers, and that's marquetry. If it's parquetry, it's with little cubes. So this is marquetry with the flowers. So when the lady of the house, if she's sitting down and say she wants to do some writing, so she pull this little slide out, and to stop her documents being blown away, she can pull this slide at the back.
Wow.
And if the wind was coming another way, or draft was coming another way, she can pull this one. And there's another one there. This piece of furniture was designed by a cabinet maker by the name of John Cobb. He was an 18th century cabinet maker. he took his designs from Thomas Chippendale. When Chippendale published a book, the director, there was lots of things where leading cabinet makers of the time were inspired by, and this has an inspiration of being French. So we have what we call the cabriole leg, and then when we go down the leg, we've got these really strange little brass casters. Now they've been specially made for this piece because in the 19th century, in the 18th century, there were people making brass casters mainly in Birmingham, and there was a standard size, and they would send them down. But these are specially made for this particular foot. So the complications of getting everything right is absolutely amazing. When we look at the top, it's a flamed piece of mahogany, which is edged in boxwood, ebony and satinwood. And then on these slides, it's cross-banded in tulip wood with boxwood, sycamore, which, as we know, is harewood, boxwood. It's just, there is so much on this piece of furniture. It's amazing.
So when was this made? Sort of.
It's made around 1750, 1760.
We've got a photograph as well, haven't we?
We've got the photograph. There, singing and dancing.
Absolutely beautiful.
It's all in the detail. When you're buying these pieces, detail, detail, detail. So we look at the underpart here, and it's inlaid all along the edge there. We've got this diamond. The way they've chosen the veneers, so it was literally just a spectacle. So this would be standing in the room saying, wow, look at me. I can sing, I can dance, I can do everything.
The envy of all the other ladies that would ever come around and visit.
And then would say, I want one of those.
And so in the time, so Thomas Cox here would make this for...
Cobb.
Thomas Cobb, apologies.
John Cobb.
John Cobb even.
John Cobb.
I'm getting it all wrong today.
Yeah, you're thinking of Thomas Chippendale,
yeah.
John Cobb.
Yeah. So John Cobb, if he was to make this for a lady, how long would it take them to make something like this, and how much would it cost in today's money? But just,
well,
I mean,
it's all guesswork, but this was expensive. This was a society lady's foible. It was a rich person's piece. I've got no idea what it would have cost then, but I can tell you what it's going to cost today. Today, you won't get much change out of between £12,000 and £15,000.
Wow. But the workmanship is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. And a great investment piece. This
will be an investment piece, yeah. The condition is superb. And but again, you have to look at the long term. You're not going to buy it for that sort of figure and then try and sell it next week and try and earn 20% on it. It doesn't happen that way. You enjoy it, and some things go up and some things go down.
Of course.
And if you accept that, then say the beauty is having good things around you.
And enjoying it for the long period of time that you have. If you make a profit, it's almost a bonus.
It's jam, absolutely. Yeah. Because when you buy a car, that car sits outside in your forecourt in your garage, and every day it's costing you money. And it's worth less every day. Every day it's worth less. And then you have to put petrol in it.
I'm sure we go on there, but this is absolutely stunning, and it is to find something like this that's so old in such perfect condition.
The condition is amazing.
You just feel like that it would warp. Everything. The slides work so beautifully. The tooled leather top. I mean, I don't know if you can see it so clearly. You can't really, but the workmanship in it. I mean, it's just so fine. Absolutely stunning.
Well, that's going back to what I said earlier. Why buy something broken when you can buy something perfect?
Thank you very much for bringing it in. So this would come on the market very rarely, surely.
You do see them. You see them. But they vary in quality. And some you'll see with a serpentine front with no brush and slide. You'll see another one with a serpentine front and no marquetry. you'll see another one with a serpentine front, and just the back part raises up. This one ticks all the boxes.
How did you know it was John Cobb? Just out of interest.
Because it's got too many extras.
Okay.
It could. You see other ones which are in the workshop, are in the manner of, because there's lesser things on them. The person who's orchestrated and wanted this one, they wanted everything. You know, if you look around the edge on this piece, can you see all the inlay? Mm-hmm. It's detail, detail, detail. And I know there's 2 or 3 of these around, okay, but they do not compare anything like this at all.
I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for bringing it in.
I'm proud of what I do. Oh, you know, when you get something like this, you go, wow.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, having the wow factor.
Yeah. So we've got, the next slide that we've got coming up is...
Legacy. Now, when we think about legacy, this is a little bit confusing, really, because people saying, I'm buying this for my grandchildren, or daughter, or whatever. Now, we're looking at investments. So there's really, you know, if you're going to buy something for investment, as I say, keep it long term, then sell it. So these aren't going to be a legacy. Unless you keep it in the family and never sell it.
Then you're a collector.
Then you become a collector. Or you just want to give it to a friend. See, these items, when they're good, they would just carry on. We're just custodians at the end of the day. We're just trying to do a little bit in the middle of owning something for a period and then passing it on. So I've jumped. Now, I brought these along as well. And again, the photograph is good, but let's see the real thing.
Okay, 1 second, we'll just bring it in. Thank you.
That's right. Can I put it that way so it's the same as...
Angle it, yeah.
Yeah. Is it the same?
It's the other way around, but it's facing Lennox, so it's fine.
But I can see it better with the camera.
Yeah, perfect.
Slide bits and pieces out.
Yeah. No, I'm going to leave them as they are.
Slide this out a bit more. Okay. These are sumptuous.
They're good, aren't they? Mm. There's only 2.
Would there have been more?
It's possible there could have been a third, but I don't think there was, to be perfectly honest. And the third one, if there was one, it would have been so much bigger because it wouldn't have been under this side, under this table. The wood is amboina. This wonderful yellow wood. Mm. Which is then cross-banded in rosewood. And these are high Regency. And so it's not brown, so it's yellow. And imagine when the rosewood, which has a pink colour, so we're looking at yellow and pink. Absolute bling. But the colour, over the years, it's all mellowed down. So where the rosewood is faded here, it's going the same colour.
Slowly going the same colour, but
they're beautiful.
It's like honey.
Yeah, it is actually like honey. Yes, yeah, and they're standing on what we call end supports on little spheres. They're like little Maltesers, but the simplicity is absolutely amazing because they're made around 1810, 1820, Regency, but they're just so simple.
And they're so elegant as well. They are so elegant.
And this works in a modern house. This works with, if someone's just into contemporary things.
Well, this is the fashion now, I've found. I mean, I've been in the antiques game for about 10 years running auctions, and I find, yes, people like the contemporary clean living, but I find now people, to give them more character and to give them more substance, they're putting a few really nice fine antiques along with their designer BB design L-shaped sofas and so forth, but they're putting some nice antiques in there as well to break up these sparse environments that they want to live in, to give themselves more character and to appreciate the history of where they are.
Well, then their house becomes more individual, as opposed to their friends, and they all look the same, like airport lounges. We call these signature pieces, when you have something which is almost unique.
This is the finest. I mean, I've sold many, many nested tables. This is the finest pair I've seen.
Yeah, well, that's great news to hear you say that, because there are so many different nests of tables, but when you see some which go, wow, and that's what it's about. It's being patient, being prepared to wait, by saying no, and then when you see the right one, you just say, yeah, I have it. And that's what it's about.
And it's upscaling as well. If you get a pair and then something like this comes on board, you have to get them.
Absolutely.
You have to get them. And then you can sell your previous pair and hopefully making a profit with your investment, and then invest it into a better pair.
Yeah, upgrading.
Or a better nest.
Yeah.
Yes,
upgrading. But buy the best you can. So there's no splits, there's no repaired legs, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just down to negotiating the right price, and do they fit in your lifestyle?
Forgive me for asking such a crass question. Sorry, such a crass question. But the viewers want to know. They always want to know, how much is it worth? It's the most asked question on the show that you're on in the BBC, I'm sure.
Well, yes. I mean, how much are they worth? They're worth what you can get for it, which is
of course.
But these are around £4,500 to £5,000.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and a fantastic investment, I feel, because
these are, because they're so useful. They're not toys. They're to be used, and so you put them at the end of your sofa, and you put your lamp on them, you dress it up and use them and enjoy them. Not just to say, don't touch. Use these things.
And something like this, they don't come on the market that often. I mean, they're around, but these are super fine. I mean, you've got the braces out here. I mean, if you wouldn't mind, just give a little description of it all, because it is stunning.
Okay, so I say they're end supported, so that means they're supported just at the ends, and then you have this long support here, which again is all beautifully veneered in amboina. You have little swept legs standing on little rosewood spheres, and the stretcher at the back, that's there for stability. And then you look at them and they work. That's
amazing.
it.
Understated
Pieces
of glass.
Yeah,
that's what I say.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Lennox.
Right. Collections. Now, if you're collecting, I've known some people, they've got hundreds and hundreds of things in their collection. Why?
Well, they love them.
I know, but sometimes a collection doesn't have to be hundreds. As I say, buy perfect pieces. Don't buy broken pieces. You've no need to. So with a collection, you can have 5 or 7 pieces. Always have an odd number.
Why?
Why? Because the best piece sits in the middle, and the other thing either side. Absolutely.
To show off the
absolutely.
best piece.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah. But as I say, if people say, I collect these and whatever, and they've got hundreds of them, so get rid of them all and just keep the best one. And then try and find something as good as that one again, or if not better. That's the challenge. That's the challenge.
Good investment tips as well.
And again, always trade up. Always trade up. Keep your powder dry, so when you're ready to pounce, you can do it.
You can do it, yeah. Because you only get the opportunity once. If you're finding that piece, you find a piece, and then your next piece comes along that you find, and you've got to be in a position to be able to buy it.
Absolutely.
Because once it's gone,
Yeah, absolutely. So buy the best you can. listen to people, talk to people, go to as many museums and auction houses. Just keep looking, because it is fun. And sometimes you start looking at things you would never ever looked at, because someone's sown a seed and that little piece of knowledge starts to fester, and you think, wow, this is a new beginning of my life. This is wonderful. So buy the best you can.
Buy the best you can, definitely. And there's one more slide you're going to show us, a sumptuous.
This is a ceramics charger, and it's pottery, but it's this big. It's the fish store. It's huge.
Wow.
And this is made by a man called Theodore Deck. He's French.
Okay.
And I didn't bring it along because it speaks for itself. The enamels are that good. It is unbelievable. It's incredibly heavy. So it's pottery, made in the Iznik style. So it looks as though it's
The
Turkish.
cobalt blue and the floria, yeah, definitely.
But it's the colours are just truly magnificent. It's made in the last quarter of the 19th century, so about 1890. His work is it does turn up, but because this is so large, that makes this particular item very, very special indeed. It just works. The fluidity of the flora and fauna, it's just magnificent.
That's what you're going on about, is buying the best.
Buying the best.
Buying quality.
Yes.
Buying things that sing to you
Yes.
and then mean something to you as well, which is obviously another reason to invest in it as well.
Yeah. And look at the colours of that. Now that works anywhere. I challenge people to say whether they like it, because most people go, that is absolutely stunning.
They have to.
It's stunning.
But very rare.
Very rare to find a piece that big. You see little vases, but to find a piece that big is special.
Any final pieces of advice for our viewer?
Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey. Thank you very much, Lennox. Thank you so much for bringing in some beautiful pieces.
Yeah.
Some great tips for the viewer, and really appreciated. So take those on board. Enjoy yourselves. Buy well. Look hard. Do your research, and enjoy investing in antiques. Thank you very much, Lennox. I've been Addison Gelpie. We'll see you on the next episode of Antiques Masterclass. Thank you. Thank you so much.